Yaqoob.
Saudi Arabia is run by a dictatorship which is propped up completely by the West.
Right. It was a right old row, in fact, wasn't it? You were at Birmingham City Council, and Lance Corporal Matt Croucher, who had won a George Cross for throwing himself on top of a Taliban grenade in Helmand Province, and he saved a number of lives when he did that. He made an appearance. And most people there gave him a standing ovation. You didn't. You stayed sitting and you didn't clap. And that annoyed a lot of people.
Who are doing their duty, because soldiers don't get that choice. I've never ever been against the military or our serving men and women. But I am against politicians who don't have the guts to even question their own party leaders. Every party, mainstream party in this country, is supporting more war in Afghanistan, which is causing misery. And our soldiers, I think, are being sent on an ill-conceived mission. So shall I stand and applaud those people? That makes me a hypocrite. Because at that point, as a political chamber, in a political debating forum, I did not want to ally myself with politicians. If by doing that...
Let's talk about the wider issue, which is actually, is it not a no-brainer if we, as part of some alliance, go bombing Muslim countries, some Muslims in this angry, some of whom are young and hot-headed, will be angry?
I think it's...
What do you think, David Sluin?
Well, I think we have to start by defining the terms of the trade of the debate in the first instance. I just want to come back to Salma.
Let's talk about foreign policy.
If I may. I want to talk about Salma, but I want to talk about the terms of trade and foreign policy as put, and I want to talk about some of the things that Salma said. Salma comes from the Respect Party. The Respect Party is not like the Conservatives or the Labour Party, in the sense that it is a coalition that is comprised of what are radical Muslims and radical communists, forgive me.
That's just not true. That's
Forgive me, you will let me finish, forgive me. The gentleman who Salma works for example, is on the record as saying that 7/7 and 9/11 might not have been done by Muslims. Now that's unacceptable. Now,
who's that? Who says that?
Dr. Nassim.
From the Birmingham Central Mosque.
Correct. Yeah. You work very closely with him.
I do
now
not work
forgive me, you will let me finish.
She says she does not work with him. We know what he says, and he's right on the fringes, but Salma says she doesn't work with him.
Is on the National Council of the Respect Party.
And no, he's not.
Dr. Nassim, well, then he was,
so
he might not be anymore. But Dr. Nassim has given majority funding to many of the Respect Party campaigns. But let me just go on to the main point. The main point is the following. You then, after defending him, attempted to, and this will lead us to where these terms of the debate have to be. After the September 11 and September 7, and 7/7 comments, you attempted to defend him by saying that, well, we don't really trust what our politicians say, and so, you know, it is not clear to us what we hear about Iraq and so on and so forth, and then attempted to drag, as you do continuously up and down this country, this debate onto a plateau whereby you paint a picture of a Western imperialistic policy that is drawing in response the kinds of things that 9/11 are. I think you are actually on the record as having said that 7/7 was something of a reprisal in a way. This is unacceptable.
You can't say I think somebody is on the record. You've got to come on with... I think really, Salma Yaqoob needs a right of reply, and I'd like to hear that now.
I have, from day one, unequivocally, unhesitatingly, with my words, with my actions, condemned terrorism, extremism, whether it's done in the name of religion or politics. After 9/11, I went to New York. Not because I'm guilty of that terrible crime, but simply because I understand that many people are now connecting Muslims with that to meet the victims of 9/11. After 7/7 happened, I helped to organise thousands of people straight away in the Birmingham City Centre to say, not in our name, because I felt it was important. A visible presence, a visible message went out that we are united as a community against terrorism with the rest of the British.
Okay, all right. We haven't got long left.
Do I have a political stance that our government's actions are increasing terrorism, making us less safe? I agree with the ex-MI5 boss who, in the Chilcot inquiry last year, said our invasions of Iraq have increased the threat to this country of
Salim
terrorism.
Shaital. No, over here, let's explore that.
If I can say something, maybe it's controversial.
Whoa, oh, go on then. You've tempted me.
Bin Laden and Blair had far more in common with each other than their divisions. They all justified a vengeance mentality that innocent people are collateral damage because they had and justified it.
It's the fundamental point why I say that it is the kinds of people like Salma who go up and down this country and talk about foreign policy under those terms. The terms of foreign policy are very simple. No party, no minority gets to come to the foreign policy debate with a bomb. In any way, shape or form...
And by my saying that, I'm saying none of them should have used bombs.
To in any way, shape or form suggest that the terms of trade in this debate begin with saying, well, if you do that or if you do that and so on and so forth, you will be bombed in the streets of your city.
That's what Bush and Blair and Bin Laden said.
It is not acceptable. And that is the kind of thing that you do up and down this country, saying to people in rooms filled to the brim that we can understand, why these things are happening because of Western action.
Non-Muslims and Muslims are united in that.
Even Majid, for whom I must say that I share a lot of his views, he sent a letter, or was a co-signatory of a letter, to Prime Minister Brown at the time of Israel's war with Hamas, saying, essentially alluding to the fact that if these kinds of things go on, we can't guarantee security.
Thank you all so much for taking part. Thank you very much. Applaud yourself.